You're listening to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast with Coach Felicia, where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to give birth to their God-given purpose. Join me and sometimes some of my friends on our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I'm Felicia Wallace, and together we will find our fears and slay them. This episode is sponsored by the Using the Power of Your Voice e-guide, your guide to launching your podcast in 30 days. Slayers, are you feeling a call from God to start a podcast but uncertain about where to begin or what you'll need? Creating a podcast can be a fulfilling and enjoyable experience, whether you're interested in sharing your expertise on a specific subject, conducting engaging interviews, or educating and entertaining your listeners. Podcasting can help you establish strong connections and foster a sense of community. Using the Power of Your Voice is a guide to start your podcast in just 30 days, and it's perfect for anyone who is clear that God told them to start a podcast. Whether you're nervous about recording or unsure where to start, this guide will provide you with valuable insights and actionable steps to help you record and launch in 30 days. In this guide, you'll learn to identify your why, find your topic, learn where to host your podcast, and what equipment you need to start. If you are ready to be obedient to your calling and start your own podcast in just 30 days, download your copy of Using the Power of Your Voice today by going to www.slangselfdoubt.com/podcast. That's www.slangselfdoubt.com/podcast. Thank you for your support, and I can't wait for you to start using the power of your voice. Hey Slayers, welcome back to another episode of the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast. I am here with Christin McKenzie from Wellness with Christin. Hey Christin, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me, Felicia.
You are so welcome, y'all. So Christin told me before we started that this is her first podcast. So y'all better make sure when y'all are listening to this episode, especially that you share so that she knows that the Slayers are listening. Okay. And congratulate her as us, first of all, congratulate us for being her first podcast that she's going to be on, but for the many more that she will be on after this. Like, you'll forever be a part of the Slaying Self-Doubt journey. And I'm so grateful that I could be the first.
Yes, thank you so much. So excited about it.
You are so welcome. So we introduced ourselves via Instagram and via email, and you were listening to my podcast, and so that's how we kind of got connected. And so because once I found out who you were, I started following you and knowing what you do, but the Slayers do not know. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started?
Absolutely. So as she said, I'm Christin McKenzie, and I'm a weight loss and wellness coach. And I'm the owner and founder of Wellness with Christin, which is a virtual health coaching business where I specialize in helping busy women who are struggling to lose weight, to practice healthier habits, to build balance, and to finally stop dieting so that they can lose weight.
You is right on time. Okay. You is right on time. Okay. Because literally the people know, okay, the Slayers know that health is my struggle because I want to be able to lose weight and also eat whatever I want to do. So, and I know those two, it's an oxymoron, right? I can't do every single thing I want to do. I have to have some boundaries and all that other stuff. But that, it ties, we've had conversations about how self-doubt ties into your health journey, right? And just the way you think about things or whatever have you. So I am always, the Lord be knowing, I say this all the time, the Lord know when I need to talk to people, when I need to talk to them, regardless of when the episode airs. It be for me. When we record, it be for me first. Okay. And so I want to know, like, how did you get started on this journey into becoming a health and wellness coach?
Yes. So I was somebody like yourself struggling with weight loss. I was very overweight several years ago. Didn't even realize how overweight I was until I think like my 30th birthday. I took a picture with some of my friends and I was like, oh my God, I could not. But I'm like, nobody told me, like, what? So like anybody else, I thought, let me run to the gym. Let me do these crazy diets, no carbs, no sugar. Let me do it. I did it. I did lose weight. And then it turned into an obsession, an
Mm.
unhealthy obsession. So I went from one side of unhealthy to another.
Wow.
So I became somebody who was like obsessively going to the gym, like restrictive eating, and people were praising me and like,
Mm.
you have such strong willpower, you're doing so great. So I'm like, well, this is what I have to do to, lose the weight. So I'm just going to keep doing it. As I'm doing it, I'm like, I feel like crap though.
Mm.
So fast forward, pandemic hits. And the pandemic was literally the best thing that ever happened to me. You probably never heard anybody say that, but
You'd be surprised how many people have been on here and
it's the best.
specifically on this show and have said, I needed it. I needed it.
Yes.
Yep. It was
Yes.
either way they needed to be set down or that's where God turned things around for them.
Yeah.
So I'm very
100%.
surprised.
Yes.
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, that's what I meant to say.
It is crazy, but during the pandemic, it was literally a time of reflection for me.
Mm.
Like I was just kind of like, and I work in healthcare too, so I'm literally seeing people die daily, and I'm like,
Ooh.
life is short, and this is going to go on for who knows how long. So I literally was like, I'm tired. I am
Mm.
just tired of everything. I gave notice at my job.
Oh.
I decided to lock my hair, and I did so much research on like how I can like lose weight and not be living like this, not restricting
Mm.
myself, not doing these crazy workouts. And in my research, I found a lot of podcasts. I found a lot of just stuff about mindful eating or intuitive
Mm-hmm.
eating. And I found out about health coaching. So I started digging more. And in my digging and learning, I started practicing the stuff and learning
Mm.
how to get more in touch with my hunger cues and just finding balance and not going so hard and maybe like lifting weights a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I started doing it, and people are like, you're losing weight. And you're like, you're looking good. I'm like, yes. And I'm actually feeling good about it. And I'm eating what
Mm.
I want too. So I was showing some of my friends it, and I just like kind of like health coaching them on the side a little bit. And I got great feedback from them. And they were like, maybe you should make this a business. And that
Mm.
self doubt, of course, was showing up heavy and hard. And I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all, no, I got too much work to do. I'm not even like thin for real. Like, nobody's going to do that. So, in me doubting myself, is when I'm hearing more feedback of people like you who are like, I want to lose weight, but I can't give up carbs. I can't give up sugar. I
Mm-hmm.
can't give up
Mm-hmm.
my wine. And I'm like, okay, maybe there really is an audience for me to serve. I got my health coaching certification, like practiced it on a few other people for free and got good results again. And then my husband was like, why are you fighting it?
Mm.
Like he's
Mm.
such a huge supporter and he's big on like risk taking. I'm very reserved and everything scares me to death. But just his support and just my friends and just feedback from, people trying it out. Wellness with Christin was born. I got my
Yes.
LLC and the rest is
We are here,
history.
right? So
Yes.
first of all, I applaud you for doing the work, right? Because oftentimes we want the quick results. And sometimes
Yes.
and especially in a journey, the quick results
Mm-hmm.
it isn't sustainable, right? Because
Right.
all it takes is something that and you back and then that's
Yep.
where you get the yo-yo when you're trying to figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've shared plenty of times on here that I went through this whole process of investing in a health coach. I did that, but it was in the midst I literally, it was in the midst of COVID because we were sitting here. And I was like, at
Mm-hmm.
the time, I'm like, well, why not? I don't have nothing else better to do. Let me go
Right.
get healthy, right? But it was at the same time, like literally my call with my health coach was the day after my mother-in-law passed. And so
Oh, yeah.
the time period that I was working with her kept saying I was fine, but there was no change. There was nothing different happening. There was some habits that changed, but there was like little stuff like I drank more water and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, but
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't any significant change because I didn't realize that I was also grieving, right?
Right.
Which plays a part into my stress level and whether or not I was
Yes.
getting enough sleep and all of the different things. And I realized like you have to be ready to take that full journey, right? So you saying like it started with this, but then really saying, okay, I know this isn't a healthy way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a sustainable way. I need to find a better way to do it. And with your background being in healthcare,
Yeah.
you know, mine's is too. We know the things, even though we make the worst patients.
Yeah.
We
So true.
we know the things that we really are supposed to do, and sometimes it's like, oh, I can work around this because I know, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have to do it this way because I can. There's a way I can do this, kind of cut this out. But the reality is that there are no shortcuts, especially
Exactly.
once you reach a certain age, right? And so I
Right.
definitely commend you for doing that. And then in your storytelling and how you got to this place, you already talked about self-doubt. And so I want to talk about how self-doubt showed up in your journey from that picture all the way up to where we are right now.
Yeah. So honestly, self-doubt has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I was always that scary child who was just, what if people say this about me? Just very worried about
Mm,
what people thought about me, like very low self-esteem, just a complete worrier. And it trickled into my adulthood. And it was just something that became a part of me. And I thought, well,
yeah.
this is my security blanket and this is the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But just like in starting the business, of course, it showed up. Like I was telling you, I was saying things like, you're not thin enough, you're not good enough, you haven't been doing this long enough, you're over 35
Ooh.
now. There's no way that
Mm.
anybody is going to take you serious. You're going to be able to do that. Look at these people on Instagram. So just
Mm-hmm.
like compare and despair was showing up so heavy. But because of the pandemic and me being like, I'm letting go, when I said I let go of that thing.
Yeah.
The self doubt is with me and the volume can get loud, but I learned to turn it down when I
Mm.
started doing more practicing like daily meditation. I really got into yoga. I started journaling and like making some morning non negotiables. I
Mm.
am just a completely different person. Like the way I see life is just different. My husband and I have a better relationship. I have a better relationship with me.
Yeah.
So I had to remind myself of those things like when I started the business. And a yoga instructor actually recommended to me a book, The Four Agreements. I don't know if you've read it or heard of it. Excellent book. It's very short. Anybody who has read it, read it again. If you haven't, please read it. And also The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And it just
Mm.
really talks about just visualizing positive things happening, just like basically like manifesting,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah.
just manifesting, putting it into action. And even this, like Felicia, like being on this podcast, this is a visualization that I have, a manifestation that I had. And I am so grateful that I'm here. Like the old me be like, I can't be on nobody's podcast. Who am I? Like, oh my God, what people think about me.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
like, turn that down and turn up your yes, girl, yes.
Yes.
Got this.
Yeah. So I listen, I feel you 110%. Okay. I always say that on this journey, when God gave it to me, I was just like, what? Like,
Right.
what do you want me to do? How you want? And at the time, I didn't know what it was. Like, there was no word for it, right? But it
Right.
was something that I feel like I always kind of felt in different circumstances, in different spaces, in different relationships. And prior to me having this name for it, I didn't know what to call it, right? But I think
Mm-hmm.
that when we take intentional time to say, I want to be better. I think that that's when things start to come up that we say, I have to address this, right? I have to figure out what this thing is. What is this thing that just keeps kind of like gnawing at me? What's this thing that
Yes.
keeps like keep coming up in all of these different situations? And a lot of times most people aren't willing to do that work. They aren't willing
Yeah.
to really figure it out like, okay, why am I like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that once we do the work, we then realize that one, we're not by ourselves, right?
Right.
And two, we have everything we need inside of us to be able to do the thing that we're afraid of,
Yes.
right? This thing that you were like, who gonna listen to me? Who gonna whatever have you? Like you had the background being in healthcare to be able to talk to people in
Mm-hmm.
an educated way that is not saying that, oh, okay, I'm being a doctor in this
Mm-hmm.
capacity, or I'm giving you, but I have enough information to be able to educate you because I've experienced it, right? I know what it looks like. I know what the end result of this thing is going to be. And if you don't
Yes.
take charge of it now, baby, it's going to be type 2 diabetes, right? It's going to
Right.
be high cholesterol. It's going to be stroke. It's going to be heart attack, and we think that, like you said, as you get older, sometimes we think to ourselves like, let somebody else do it, right?
Right.
But the reality is that if we all have a purpose and it's stuff that we're supposed to be doing, all of the things that we do are linked to who we are. We
Right.
may not see it in that very moment, but that experience and that journey you went on for yourself was so that you're able to tell somebody else, I've been there. Right.
Right.
I did Atkins. I did South Beach. I did,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, keto. I did all the things that you can think of. I did intermittent fasting, all the different
Mm-hmm.
things that we like, I'm gonna try this and I'm gonna try that
Right.
and I'm gonna try to, and then with the first thing to go, is your water weight. And then you
Yes.
think you lost weight,
Yes.
right? And then you be like,
Yes.
okay, so ain't nothing coming off after these 10 pounds. Ain't nothing, because the rest of it is actually work.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
actual work to be able to do. So you mentioned that some of the things that you do when that self-doubt comes up, and to turn her down is to journal or
Mm-hmm.
to what did you say?
Meditate. I
Meditate. I
do
was like, I know
yoga.
you
That's
right. Yeah. I was like, she said something because it was something else I wanted to say. Oh, about
yes.
manifesting. Um, so I'm gonna say that I'm gonna save that to after I ask this question. So with
Okay.
those three things, like practical tips that people can do, because a lot of times when we talk about, I definitely say journal a lot. I say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I say, Jesus in therapy, using
Yes.
these resources. There are coping mechanisms
Mm-hmm.
that we can use to help us on our journey when self-doubt shows up. Not if, y'all, but when, because
Right.
she's going to come. Okay.
100%.
So it talk us through those things that when self-doubt is loud, like how you are turning them down in turning her down in real time.
Absolutely. So honestly, this is probably like super sad to say, but sometimes those negative and self-doubt comes up like as soon as I wake up in the morning.
Mm.
Just thoughts. And I'm just like, after reading that Power of Your Subconscious Mind, I realized like how mean I am to myself. Like, oh my gosh, you're such a bully. Like,
Yes.
so literally what I'll do, I will lay in bed and just be like in my mind, everything that's going to be good today, everything that I love about myself, everything that I have around me, everything I have to be thankful for. And then it
Yeah.
starts going down. It just starts
Mm.
going down. If it keeps going, I just keep playing it in my head, keep playing in my
Yeah.
head. Usually by that time, I'm somebody, I love fitness. So I do work out. Exercise is also a therapeutic thing for
It
me.
is.
Every morning, 6 a.m., that's me. I don't care if I'm off. I don't care what, that is where I need to be. That's like my little church. And it's my time for me to sweat it out and just to get
Yeah.
any worries, any stresses just out. After that workout, I stretch and I meditate. And a lot
Mm.
of people are like, I want to meditate, but I don't know how. There isn't a way of how. Meditation is whatever calms you. It doesn't have to be
Mm.
it
Right.
doesn't have to be that. It can just be you sitting there and listening, just breathing.
Mm.
It could be journaling. That's a form of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Walking back and forth in your room, that's meditation. So just calming those thoughts and just tuning in to a higher frequency.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll listen to like little affirmations, or sometimes it's just like a sound bath I listen to. And really, that gets me through every day. Like you said, she's gonna be there. She
She's
is.
showing up. I can
She's gonna
guarantee you
come.
that.
Yes, every day she's coming for you, but again, to turn down that volume. And I honestly now am starting to almost embrace the self-doubt almost
Mm-hmm.
and look at it as she's just trying to protect me. But
Yeah.
baby, I got it. You
Yeah.
can step back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm turning your volume down. I have to move past you. But thank you for your concern. I
Yeah.
appreciate
That's
it.
a great way to look at that, right? Because and I never even thought about that, about it being protection.
Mhm.
Because generally when self-doubt shows up, it's the scary things, right? Like they
Mhm.
say all the time, when you get into your body gets into a fight,
Fight or
flight,
flight.
or freeze mode, right?
Mhm.
And that fight is that self-doubt that's just like, it depends on what she's saying though, right? Because if she's trying to talk you out of something, right, that you, and generally that talking you out of it is It's how it's being done. Is it removing your confidence? Is it making
Right.
you feel bad about yourself? Is it making you feel like you're not qualified? And sometimes those things are, it's usually, it's how we view ourselves, right?
Mhm.
And I've shared on here, a few times that lots of time our self-doubt is an issue because we don't trust ourselves. Because to
Yes.
think about this weight loss journey, right? And you say, I'm gonna do all the right things. And in the
Yep.
beginning, if you're not committed to doing it, you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing all the things. I can
Right.
guarantee you, okay? Y'all look at me. We're not.
Right.
We're
It's the
not
truth.
we're not doing all the things. We're not drinking all our water. We're not
Mm-hmm.
moving every single day. We're not eating the way we're supposed to. We're not cutting out the things that we should be cutting out. We still like, let me go ahead and eat this. I know it's
Mm-hmm.
11:30, but the thing about it is you're building distrust in yourself. So
Right.
when self-doubt is showing up, it's because you don't trust you.
Right.
Nine
Right.
times out of 10, the voice is yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every now and again, it comes from somebody else saying you can't do something, and you keep that story on rewind. But a lot of it is because you have disappointed yourself over
Right.
and over and over again, and you have to rebuild trust with you, right?
Right.
Like we say, if it was a different relationship, that's what you said. You say, I'm a bully to myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would not talk to nobody else like that, and
Right.
the other person wouldn't let you talk to. They be like, who you
Mm-hmm.
talking to?
Right.
I know
Right.
you ain't talking to me like that, right? But
Right.
we don't do that with ourselves, right? We think it's okay. We think
Yeah.
it's tough love, and or whatever it is that we tell ourselves. But I think that we have to do better at that,
Mm-hmm.
because those things hinder us from being able to do the things that we're called to do. Those things hinder us from being able to manifest the things that we want for our
Yes.
lives, because you can't have manifestation if you don't even believe you're supposed to have it.
Exactly.
And so that means
Exactly.
self-doubt is in the way. Like if you say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I want to be able to do this, but self-doubt is saying, nah, you ain't doing that. And you like, you right.
Exactly.
We can stop right
Right.
there. It's nowhere else
Right.
to go, right? So speaking of manifest, and you said like it being very big on that, and knowing that a lot of people think they just supposed to write something down, pray about it, say it out loud, and it's just supposed to happen. Let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about the work, right? Because when you
Yes.
made the decision to say, I'm gonna do this the right way in the during the pandemic, what were the steps that you took? What did that doing look like? What did it look like to get to the place where everybody's saying, girl, you need to be making money off of this?
I just like I said, when I was doing the research, I was writing, I love to learn. I was just
Mm,
like writing a lot of things down and just internalizing it and just like putting it into practice and being like, look, this does work for you, but it's not a healthy way. And you can't continue like this.
yeah.
So let's try this. You can lose weight, and everybody can lose weight. Everybody has done it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, it was because you were sick or whatever, because everybody has done it.
Yeah.
So just knowing you can lose weight, but let's try it out. And when
Yeah.
I started seeing the results and actually putting in the work, like you said, doing my journaling, following my hunger cues like I needed to, actually drinking my water, working out to a point where it's not obsessive, but something
Mm,
that is beneficial to my body and not a punishment. Because
yeah.
that is what I used to do, like punish
Mm,
my body for having the donut, for having the fries, whatever
yeah.
thing. So just stepping away from the mistakes we made and learning from them and putting them into practice. That's what really helped me on my journey. And like you said, just trusting yourself and being like, it's okay, we made mistakes. Mistakes are a good thing if
Mm-hmm.
you're learning from them.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you're repeating the same thing over and over, definition of insanity. So just
Which is the
learning.
reason why there's so many diets out here, right? It's
Exactly.
because they
Exactly.
know people just going to go to the easy choice. They're going to go to let
Exactly.
me just get this. Let me now, and
Exactly.
then let me just say, I'm not going to say that it can't supplement some things and it can't
Mm-hmm.
help you out on your journey, but there has to be, it can't just be that, because if those things go away,
Right.
then what?
Exactly.
Then you, what, you're not going to eat?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to treat your body well. Like that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be doing anyway. So, what have you learned about yourself during this journey that you didn't know before?
Oh man. I have learned that I'm actually like really good with people.
Yes.
Um, I feel like people have told me that before, and now I'm like really seeing that. I'm learning that um, just that I can do things
Mm.
and that
Mm.
I can be a business owner. I just believe in myself so much more. Like it's just like literally so many things. I've had like a spiritual growth in this
Mm.
journey. Just so many, I didn't realize how more spiritual I am now and just how more connected I am to myself. I mean,
Yeah.
this journey
Yeah.
has been a lot for me, even though I am helping others. I
Mm-hmm.
learn from my clients and I'm learning from my mistakes and learning from the things that I'm doing well.
Yeah.
So I've learned so many things and just lessons and learned that fear is just a feeling, but
Mm.
not an excuse.
Oh.
So that is probably the biggest thing that I learned. I literally say that all the time to
Yeah.
myself. I know
Yeah.
you're afraid. And I heard this one time, I think on a movie, if you are nervous, that means you give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
It means you care.
Yeah.
So it can be a good thing in a way, but just calm it and
Yes.
overcome it with other things. So
Yeah. And the thing about it is that one of the things I've noticed over the last couple of years is I have seen so many, especially Black women, write books about, fear and self-doubt. They may
mhm,
call it different things, but imposter syndrome, what it's still this
yes.
insecurity that we have,
Hmm.
right? And I was recently talking to somebody and I was like, I didn't think about it till afterwards, but I was like, the show Insecure was all about self-doubt. It was like
Yes.
Issa's self-doubt the entire time, right? Like
Hmm.
it was funny, it was comical, when she in the mirror and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the whole
Right.
time it's like she was doubting herself and her
Hmm.
abilities and everything. And yeah, there were certain people that played the part because Molly got on my nerves, you know.
Yeah. Right.
But there were, certain people that attributed and added to it. But the her insecurity came from
Hmm.
her. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And so just realizing how important it is to hype yourself up, right? To look in the mirror in the therapy coaching, they do mirror work, right? Where you
Yes.
literally hold a mirror up to you and you are talking to yourself. And this goes back to this trust thing, right? The person we're most uncomfortable with is ourselves.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so
Yes.
you saying that, this has been a journey for you to get closer to yourself and to learn so much more about yourself. That is you learn more about you become a better friend, you become a better
Hmm.
parent, you become a better spouse, you become a better employee, you become a better entrepreneur. You become better because you know yourself, you know your
Yes.
boundaries, you know what tick you off, you know what you like and you know what you don't like, right?
Right.
And it's not anybody else's stuff being put on you. It's literally you saying, "No, nah, that don't work for me.
Right. Right. Exactly.
I'm good," right? And so in understanding that for yourself, how do you? And this is going into the next question, but I want to know now. But how do you incorporate that in your coaching in your clients understanding that they have to be connected. They can't be doing this for anybody else. Like it has to be for them.
Yes. So I do a lot of what I call mindset coaching. So just like shifting the mindset and just almost retraining your brain. I
Mm-hmm.
work with a lot of women who are moms, and I'm not a mom, but it seems like when you become a mom, you literally put yourself dead last.
You do.
And
Or
that
like
that's
ever.
also like a fear of mine with being a mom, like having to do that.
Yeah.
But I teach them like you showing up for yourself and being healthier, you're a better you're going to be a better spouse, like you said, a better
Yep.
mom, a better employee, a better entrepreneur. You're going to be a better you. One of the first exercises that I have my clients do is for them to tell me their why. Like, why are you doing this? What? Because if it's not a compelling
Mm-hmm.
why, if it's because my husband wants me to lose 10 pounds,
Right.
you're not in it.
You're
You're
not.
not in it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I hear stuff like, and I have her stuff like, I want to be able to be around for my daughter. I want to be able to not be out of breath on the
Mm-hmm.
playground with my kids. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
able to live longer than my mom did. When I hear compelling stuff like that, like, that's amazing for me. So that's kind of like how I know and how I can, teach them how to really focus and know that it's going to come from within. I
Yeah.
can coach you all day long, hold your hand and tell you what to eat or how long to exercise. But if you're not connected and you're not motivated, you're not committed, you're not doing it for you,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to work. My
It's not gonna
clients that are
work.
try to, well, I'm going to do it for this reunion so I can look cute. Oh, okay, girl. I'm not really the health coach and I can, refer you to a couple people who are about that. I'm more for lifestyle changes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for people who want to do it for them for true reasons. And some are health and some are longevity things,
Yep.
different compelling reasons. But if it's for any other reason other than you're in the danger zone.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably
No,
not going to happen.
you're absolutely right because if it's that's again, it's not sustainable, right? If
Right.
you there will be nothing that you're able to that could sway, right? Because then
Mm-hmm.
if you just say it's for the reunion, what if the reunion get canceled?
Oh,
Then you
right.
gonna stop working out, or what if after 2 pounds your husband be like, okay, that was enough, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
did
Mm-hmm.
or what if it changes? No, you need more. Then
Right.
like you say like the other earlier about it becoming unhealthy. Now we ain't about to
Yeah.
have you walking out here looking like a bobblehead. Like
Right.
we can't be doing that, right? But I think that the you like you said, like the investment has to be in you. I tell my clients
Mm-hmm.
all the time, this journey ain't about your mother, your father, your auntie,
Right.
your baby father, your uncle, your cousin and them, your sister, none of that. If it's you are here to
Right.
get your healing, right? I
Right.
can't slay nobody else self-doubt. It says
Mm-hmm.
self, right? Right.
Right.
So if you here because of somebody else, you need to find another
Mm-hmm.
coach. I can't help you. I'm gonna tell you that
Same.
off the break because I'm gonna challenge you. Just and the more you keep adding other people into it, the more I'm gonna tell you this. You really need to find somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that is important because it holds people accountable, right? It
Mm-hmm.
holds
Mm-hmm.
them accountable, but also us because we're learning as we're doing this work, right?
Right.
If you hear something that you tell somebody, you're like, dang, I'm not even applying that to my life. Let me start applying that.
Yes.
That's exactly what we do. Y'all are learning something right now. That's what we do as coaches. You may
Mm-hmm.
tell us something new, and we be like, "Dang, you know what? I never even thought about that." But now
Yes.
let me start adding that to it because if it's all about learning and growing, everything happens in different seasons. You don't use everything or do
Absolutely.
everything continuously over and over. Same thing with like working out. You can't just do all
Mm-hmm.
cardio, right? You got to
Right.
get and you can't
Please
just work on
don't.
your legs, right?
Right. Right. No spot training,
Right.
please.
You gotta have a you gotta mix it up a little bit. So let's
Mm-hmm.
get into the health coaching and wellness with Kristen. I want to know what do you do? What do you offer? And
Yes.
particularly, I wanted to ask off the break, but I was like, no, I'm gonna have to wait. I want to know about these what did you call them? Food cravings, habits, or what did you
Yeah.
say? Yeah,
Yeah. Food
that
cravings.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Food cravings. I want
Absolutely.
to know about. I want to know specifically about that. This for me, y'all. Now, y'all don't have to listen.
So I'll tell you kind of about the program first, then I'll tell you about the
Okay,
cravings.
okay, okay, okay.
So, as I said, the program is all virtual. So whether you're in Maryland or North Carolina, where I am, or I have somebody
Hey,
in
North
Switzerland right now,
Carolina.
actually, too.
Okay, Switzerland.
Yes. So basically, we meet once a week, and I help the clients with any coaching with just mindset coaching, as I said before. Help them with nutrition, with finding that balance. Yes, you can eat the things that you love, but we have to make sure we're properly nourishing our bodies as well. So finding that
Okay.
balance with nutrition. And I also help with meal prep. That's a big part of things that I do as well. I do a lot of coaching with that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of thought work. You get a lot of handouts from me. And I also do weekly workouts. So I
Oh,
give my clients weekly workouts so that they can actually move. And that's a big part of my programs, like mindset. The wellness part is making sure we're sleeping, managing those stress levels, and just really applying like self-care practices.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things are a part of it. I do group coaching and also my
Nice.
one-on-one coaching. The one-on-one coaching is a lot more client centered. You get a lot of, with both sets, I give you accountability checks, but you really have full access to me when I do private one-on-one coaching. Most of my clients do struggle with over and emotional eating. So I do a lot of work with cravings.
Mm.
So I teach a lot about learning your hunger cues. So knowing
That's
when
what you
to
say. Hunger
start.
cues. Okay.
Oh, yeah, hunger
Hunger
cues.
cues.
Yes,
Okay.
hunger
Uh-huh.
cues.
Yeah.
Knowing
Mm-hmm.
when to start and stop eating. So I always tell my clients, you need to make sure that you eat before you're starving and stop when you're satisfied. So the program is completely about finding balance. What makes me feel full may not make you feel full,
Yeah.
but just helping people to like reconnect with that, because we're born with hunger hormones that go off when we're babies. We cry, we get the milk, but notice a baby is never overfed because the hormone leptin will kick in and
You're
it lists.
right.
Yeah, they don't, because they're in tune with their bodies and they stop eating when that leptin hormone comes in. But as we get older, life happens and we get social pressures, we have stress, we have social events, we have
Mm.
all these things. So we push past our fullness and then it just becomes a part of what we do.
Yeah.
When really, if you're paying attention, we usually don't need to eat as much as we're eating. So teaching people that those simple things, when to start and stop eating, is very complex, like more complex
Mm.
than people think. And some of my people, it literally is half of the 12 weeks is focusing on, okay, so why are you still overeating? Like we
Mm.
need to work on some strategies to help you to do that. And also finding emotional connections that people have to food. There's reasons behind the reason why you may like cake, Felicia, whatever your thing is.
Yeah.
And the reason why, like, I love donuts, like, there's emotional attachments to those things. So finding out those food bonds and where those food and emotional
Mm.
triggers are coming from is a big part of my program as well.
Yeah, no, like that literally just like I literally thought about my kids and when they were like whether they were breastfed or bottle fed, like they just stopped. They like
Yep.
literally stopped eating. I didn't have to. I would be like, "You want?" And they
Mm-mm.
generally they would be asleep, right? But it would be like they wouldn't, even if you tried to give it to them, they would not continue to eat. Like
Mm-mm.
even if you, oh, they're whining, maybe they're hungry. No, that's
Nope.
not what it is. They won't just do it. But you're absolutely right. And I'm just, as you were talking, I was trying to think to myself, like, how do I know when I'm full? Like sometimes I do, depending on what it is that I eat. And then other times, if I eat like lighter foods, I feel like I can eat more, but it can't,
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be something there, right? There has to be, like you
Yes.
say, it has to be this feeling. And, my family always jokes with me, like when we go out, I never eat all my food. And I'm like, I don't because I do be full, right? Like I think I
Right.
am at least. But I also know that for me, my default is starvation, right? I will
Mm.
eat breakfast because I love breakfast food. And then I could go the rest of the day
No.
without eating.
No, 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 no,
And
no,
it'd
no.
be like 8:30, and then I'd be like, oh, let me go ahead and eat. But I
Mm-mm.
ate at probably 9 o'clock. So now I've gone 12 hours
No
without eating
eating.
anything and probably not drinking anything.
Uh,
And so then you're just moving. Every now and again, I'm like, oh, if I do drink something, this is previous, not now. I've gotten a lot better. I had my water. Okay. Uh I learned that my issues were hydration and starvation. Okay.
hmm
But it's one of those things I've had several health coaches and several wellness coaches and physical personal trainers on here that say like it's in the food. The physician I used to
Yes.
work for, he would be like 90% of weight loss is food.
Yes.
And I would be
Yes.
like, no, it's not. And I'm like, he was so right.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Being mindful of the things you're eating. And I always like tell my clients, a lot of times when you're eating a lot of junk, your
Mm-hmm.
body wants more. I tell people like, I remember I used to love cereal. I would just eat like 2 or 3
Mm.
bowls, like no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, but why do I not feel like I'm not full?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's because it's processed food. So our brain kind of recognizes, but our stomach is like, what
What
is
is
this?
this?
What is, because it's
Ooh.
chemical. It's like so chemicals. But your brain recognizes when you have like a salad or some
Mm-hmm.
type of meat or something that actually isn't full of chemicals. It recognizes that. So it literally, it's like you're eating air.
Mm.
So you're eating and you just want to keep eating. So you're just eating a bunch of junk. But notice when people eat like healthier stuff with a lean protein, they're fine. But people who eat junk, they eat and eat and eat and eat and eat.
Is this why, like, when you eat, y'all, but see, now my secret's getting ready to come out. Is this why when you eat like noodles, you feel like you could just continue to eat noodles? Like, let me get some curry out. I love meat. Like, Singapore noodles are
Mhm.
my guilty pleasure, along with ramen. It's anything noodleish. Like, I love
Yes,
it, right? But I could just keep eating, and I'll eat
it's
a
what's in
thing,
it.
and I'll be like, why? I know I just ate all of this food, and I'm not full. Like I could eat
Hmm.
more. That makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, it's like he said, it's in the food. And like noodles is one of those kind of like almost lazy food because it's like it just,
Mm-hmm.
you don't even have to chew noodles for
Not at
real,
all.
especially if they're the really thin ones. It's just those like oodles and noodles, they just
Yes.
go right on
Uh-huh.
down. So it's just one of those things too, where, and also if you're eating really quickly, it's
Mm.
just going to be harder for your mind and your gut to kind of connect because it's like so fast, so fast. It's like, wait, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? So
Yeah.
just slowing down, being focused, eating with intention, and not
Mm.
just eating to be eating or eating
I
in
need
front
to
of the
tell my son
television.
this because he always be like, he just punish food. We always be like, 3 bites, he gonna be done.
Oh
And hey,
no.
but because he's growing, he's 15, he
Yeah.
just he'll just eat it, but he's kind of always been like that. But then it'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, I can still eat. And we like now because I raised you, I know what happens. I'd be like, you need to wait because in about
Hmm.
10 minutes, your brain's gonna catch
Yes.
up to your stomach and it's gonna be
Yes.
like, I think I'm full. And every single time he'd be like, oh,
Yep.
my stomach.
It's so funny that you said that because I literally teach my clients like that pause. Like after you've had your plate of food, if you
Mm-hmm.
still feel like you're hungry again, you need to wait at least 15 minutes.
Yep.
Do something else, get some water, walk outside, do some laundry, but do something else. When that timer goes off, if you're still hungry, eat. If
Yeah.
it happens again, do it again. Like do the
Yeah.
timer, start it
Yep.
all over again.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. Man, that is see, that's why I be saying. Like, so now I know, like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention to my hunger cues and pay it
Yes, yes.
and
You'll
I'm
be surprised.
yeah, I think I'm going to be because usually I always have these moments where I feel hungry and I have to remind
Hmm.
myself. I stop and be like, what did I eat today? Or did I eat today? Right. And so
Yeah.
those are things that I'm trying to get better at. And so let me just ask this while we're here,
Hmm.
guys. I told y'all this is really for me. You guys are just watching and
I'm
listening.
happy to help.
So what about smoothies, right? We hear
Hmm.
people that are using them, like even if you don't put anything in it, like any whey protein or
Hmm.
is whey protein? No, whey is not, right? Is it?
It is. It's a supplement.
It's a
Hmm.
okay, it's a supplement. Even without the supplements, like say you're just doing like fruit and vegetables.
Hmm.
Um, is that enough? Like some people are eat so I'm gonna say some people. I have been using it as like, all right, instead of me eating a full meal at lunch, I'm going to make this green juice, right? I'm doing this
Hmm.
because there's some things that I'm allergic to. So it's really just like coconut water, the like spinach and kale mix,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like frozen fruit in it. And that's it. That'll be
Mhm.
what I'll drink. But then it'd be like, it feel like 45 minutes later. And I'd be
And you're
like,
hungry.
I am so hungry.
Yeah. So juicing is fine, but or doing the smoothies is fine. But I feel like when I have my smoothies, I do put protein in it.
Okay. Okay.
Personally, I do, because protein is what's going to help you to feel full. And protein
Okay.
does not have to be whey powder. It does not have to be that. You can use the chia seeds. I
Oh,
have been using, I just found this from somebody on Instagram, chickpeas. Putting chickpeas in there, you
hummus.
cannot taste it. You cannot taste it.
You know, whenever anybody say chickpeas, I mean like hummus. If we talk
Yes,
about
like
hummus.
hummus.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. All
yes.
right.
But it's going to take on the flavor of the stuff. It's almost like an avocado. If you put avocado in your smoothies,
Oh
it's
yeah.
just the
Uh-huh.
creaminess, but
Hmm.
it's a form of protein. So I personally, with the smoothies, I always add protein to it. I do have some people who like to do it for like a little dessert. I think that's smart. For that before a
Okay.
meal, not so much, just
Yeah. Not for.
because you're going to be hungry.
Yeah, that's how I feel right this very moment,
Hmm.
right? I hate it for
See,
because I'm like I'm
it's
trying to
time to eat.
substitute because I'm trying to like the same thing that's why I say this conversation was needed for me right at this moment because I know all the things, right? I know the lean and green. I know that it's a lifestyle change. I
Hmm.
know the choices I need to like the little things that become habits. It always is
Right.
either the meal prep and I cook like I literally if I took all the things, I'd literally be the perfect client because I know all the stuff. I don't need it's just the doing, right?
Yes, that's
Because
everybody.
yeah, everything is the doing of saying like,
Hmm.
I gotta make my breakfast, make sure I eat something and like remind myself to
Yeah.
act, and then actually get up and eat. Like that's the part. Like sometimes in and I'm one of those people I always say I operate in my feelings. No matter what it
Hmm.
is, it's like if I don't feel like doing it, I ain't gonna do it. If I
Hmm.
don't feel like eating, I ain't gonna eat. But I think I've always been like that. So it's like reversing those things. So I've
Yes.
got that's why I say this used to be me a whole lot better now. You know, just I bring my water with me no matter where I go. And I'll be like, okay, you gonna get
Yeah.
to these 64 ounces, girl, by the time the end of the day comes. Just
Yes. Yes.
just keep doing it little by little. So y'all, you know what? This is encouragement for y'all too. This is the reason why we do this. And God knew when he was like, have people come on and talk because these like self-doubt shows up in everything. And then you don't know
Yes.
how it you don't know what it looks like in your life. You don't know what it looks like in these different areas until you hear it and you were like, dang, that's me, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have Kristen tell us where y'all can find her at because I can
Yeah.
guarantee you don't have no excuses. She says she virtual. If she can talk to
Yes.
somebody in Switzerland, she can talk to
Yes.
y'all in the DMV and wherever you are in the on the globe. Okay, wherever you are,
Yes.
she can help you. So
I
where
got
can
you.
they find you?
Yes. So y'all can find me, check me out on my website, and it's www.wellnesswithkristen, and Kristen is spelled uniquely. Is Christin, wellnesswithkristen.com. And you can find me on Instagram at Kristen.McKenzie, and McKenzie is spelled McKenzie. KristenMcKenzie.fit on Instagram. Follow me. Please feel free to like DM me. I love questions. If you have questions about my program, questions about anything health and wellness, I am happy to help. And just a heads up, I have free discovery calls. So if you're interested, it's free.
Yay.
We can converse and see if we're a match for one another. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yay. So, y'all, all of that information will be in the show notes, and you
Yes.
will be able to just click and find her. Go ahead and get your discovery call. Y'all, we know that there's things that we need to do. And one of the things that you said, yeah, I think that people have to be honest with themselves about is the reason why they want to go on their health journey. We all, if you have children, want to be here for your children's children. You
Yes.
can't do that if you are immobile. You can't do
Mm-hmm.
that if you are sick on the sick and shut in list all the time. I want you to visualize this is a part of manifesting.
Yes.
Visualize yourself being on vacation with your great grandkids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being active, being and riding a roller coaster, doing the things that you enjoy doing, and identify the things now that you're saying what's holding me back, right? And if it's just working with somebody who can help you just get your lifestyle together, baby, I just solved it for you. Right here.
Yes.
I just solved it for you. Well, just with Christin. Like we
Yes.
already got it. So Christin, thank you so much for
Thank you so
coming on the
much.
show. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank
Yes.
you for allowing us to be the first podcast. And you
Yes,
did
I'm
good,
so
girl.
excited. I
You
hope I
did
did good,
good.
y'all. This
You
was so
did great.
exciting.
We didn't even have to stop, y'all. I told her at the beginning, I was like,
Yay.
this is edited and we need to pause. And then, girl, you did it. I would have never even knew.
Yay.
I would have never even
Yay.
knew.
I'm so
So
excited.
you are, I am happy for you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us. Y'all,
Absolutely.
until next time, see ya. All right, y'all, that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Remember to head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow me at Slaying Self Doubt. Oh, wait, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and watch this episode, and remember to press the subscribe button. Until next week, see ya.